it's Monday. Like I say, I don't know how you guys feel about Mondays. In my mind, a Monday is the same as a Friday, which is the same as a Wednesday, which is the same as a Thursday. And it's kind of fun to live your life like that when you really don't know or even care what day of the week it is. As long as you're here, right? As long as you're here and you've got the ability to share this incredible information with people, it really doesn't matter what day it is. And today, what I want to chat with you guys about is something that I think we all need to work on every now and then, and that's our attitude. And I titled this Attitude for Success. And the reason I did that is because you can never underestimate the power of a positive mindset. Our thoughts truly, truly do shape our reality. And so, whatever we're thinking, that is our reality. And so if we can have a positive mindset, things are going to be better throughout the day. And the reason I wanted to bring this up today was because I talked to some people over the weekend who were struggling. They were really struggling with their business. And I'm like, what's the big deal? What's going on? And they're like, well, I can't get anybody to say yes. And it's like, okay, well, you just haven't talked to the right people. Because remember, we're not looking for no's. We're looking for yeses, right? And if somebody says no to you, that's perfectly fine because that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for yeses. And, a lot of times people mix up somebody saying no to them as failure. And it's not failure. I really don't believe in the word failure because I see failure, I never see failure as failure. I only see it as maybe a learning experience. Or I never see failure as failure. It's just a chance to maybe change course. Or you never see failure as failure, but an opportunity to maybe develop your sense of humor. Never see failure as failure, but only as an opportunity to maybe practice your techniques and maybe to perfect your performance. Don't see failure as failure, but think of it as a game that you play to win. And if you kind of think of it in those terms, it's like, well, nobody can rain on your parade. When somebody tells you no, it's like, well, that's fine. I'm looking for yeses. I had a guy text me this morning, and I said, hey, just touching base with you. Where you at with this thing? Because I showed him the entire program on the 12th, and today's the 16th. I'm like, okay, that's too long. It's like you had the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th to think about this, and write down any questions that you may have. And so I sent him a message today, and I said, hey, just touching base with you. Where are you? Are you in or are you out? I just need to know. And he said, well, I think I'm just going to become a customer today. Now, in my mind, that's a win. That's a win. In other people's minds, like, that's a failure. I needed a new associate in my group. It's like, no. You've got to make sure that people do what's best for them. And in this guy's case, the best thing for him was to be a customer, maybe check out the patches and feel the technology a little bit, and then he can decide, later if he wants to become an associate. So, hey, failure is never failure. It's always either a learning experience, a chance for you to change something, a chance for you to work on something, and you can turn that absolutely into a positive. And I see a lot of people ask me, it's like, well, how can I be successful, make a lot of money in this business? Everybody wants to know what the secret formula is, right? Well, I'll give you a few points, you guys. And some of you do this and some of you don't. But I think if you really, really want to be successful in what we're doing right now, I think these points that I share with you right now are going to be really, really important. And one of them is call the person who enrolled you every day. Call the person who enrolled you every day and spend time learning from that person. There are people on this call that I talk to every single day, whether they're from Massachusetts, whether they're from Florida, whether they're from Texas, whether they're from Minnesota. I talk to these people every single day. And sometimes the conversation is 2 or 3 minutes. It's like, hey, what's going on? What's up with your day? Who are you going to follow up with today? And it's like, yeah, talk to the person who enrolled you every single day and see what you can learn. And the question is, how much time do you guys spend learning the business. Okay? Now, what I mean by that is if I threw you in front of me right now and I said, "Tell me about the Super Patch Company," would you know what to say? Would you? I mean, does it just roll off your tongue, or do you have to sit there and think about it? It's like, well, it's this technology where there's no drugs, there's no stimulants, there's no supplements, and it touches your skin, and then you're like all over the place. Or do you have something in your mind to go, yeah, this is what it is, and this is how I got started, and this is why I'm excited about it. So think about that, you guys. Think about how much time per day you spend learning this. Okay. My trainings are very similar. My business presentation is the same every single week. How I talk to people on a 3-way call is the same as my business presentation. I just don't have any slides, but I don't need any slides because it just rolls off my tongue. Another thing that I think you should do is put into action the things that you learn from successful people. Jumping on calls like this or jumping on Zooms and jumping on trainings. And I love to have open formats for that. Team calls. And I love a lot of you do team calls where it is an open forum and people are sharing what's working for them, what's not working for them. Well, the question is, find out what's working for people and apply it. I always say you don't have to listen to me at all. I'll just tell you guys what I do on a daily basis, because really that's all these calls are. I'm just telling you what I do in building this business and really what I do in life. And it's really up to you to apply that stuff if you want to, but you don't have to apply all of it. Take the stuff that you like and use it, and take the stuff that you don't like and forget about it. Okay? I think another thing to be really, really successful is that you've got to be a regular attendee to our meetings, our weekly meetings. Now, the most weekly meeting that I have for everybody is the Tuesday night Opportunity Zoom. It's like, well, whether you have a guest there or not, you should be there. Because every time that you hear the presentation or every time that you hear somebody's testimonial, you can learn from that. That is a learning experience. Never forget why you're doing this thing. And I always say that that's a moving target. And don't you guys get sick of me hearing me say that? Make sure you know why you're doing this thing and make sure it's important enough, because it really is that important that we talk about it all the time. Because if you don't really know why you're doing this, it's the rest of it's not going to matter. But if you really know why you're doing it, you'll figure out how to do it. Every day, work on expanding your warm market. Every day, just be aware of the people that you're surrounded by, and just be aware of the opportunities that you have to start a relationship with somebody, because life is nothing more than building relationships and sharing ideas, right? Another thing that I think is really important, don't listen to broke people's negativity, right? How many times have you heard, old Uncle Bob tell you that this is one of those pyramid deals and don't quit your day job and blah, blah, blah. And the reason I say Uncle Bob is because I have an Uncle Bob. And my Uncle Bob would laugh at me every Christmas, every New Year's, every Thanksgiving when we would get together as a family. And he's like, "You're still doing that pyramid deal?" I'm like, "Yep, still doing it, Bob." And it was a really, really good feeling when I quit my job to do this business full time. And having to let Uncle Bob know that. And then I built a 13,000 square foot house, and I invited my Uncle Bob and Aunt Betty. It was my turn to host Christmas and have them walk through the house. I'm like, "Yeah, it's that pyramid deal, Bob. Yeah, it's that little pyramid deal." And it's like my Uncle Bob, he would complain about his finances like all the time. Like he never had enough money to go on vacation, never had enough money to drive a new car. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, get out of your own way. Just get out of your own way. And listen, you guys, I love my Uncle Bob, and he's still around. My Uncle Bob is almost 90, and his wife and Betty is still around too. And I love these guys. And in many ways, I'd like to be like my Uncle Bob and Aunt Betty, but just not financially. It's like, nah, I'm just not going to learn anything financial from these guys, because all you do is complain about it. All right, so don't listen to broke people's negativity, but learn from the positivity and the mentality, the positive mentality from successful people. Don't let laziness keep you from making money. Can we highlight that one just a little bit? Don't let laziness keep you from making money. It's like pick up the phone and make that one extra call. All right. Yeah, I know it's Sunday night, but make that one extra call. And tonight, just before you go to bed, send that last minute message out. Or, when somebody says, hey, can I do a 3-way call with you? And you're like, can we do it tomorrow? It's like, no, do it today. Do it today. Just don't let laziness, affect your money making at all. And make sure you write down your goals for your business, not only on a daily basis, but a weekly basis, a monthly basis, and a yearly basis. Really know what's happening in your group, you guys. And there are a bunch of people on this call right now that are going to get to the position of director before the end of the month. There are people on here brand spanking new that haven't enrolled anybody yet. And the goal is to be a director by the end of the month. And some of you are like, what does it take to be a director? It's like, yeah, you got to go find out. Go find out. Go look at that comp plan at a glance. And there's a bunch of people on this call that are going to become directors by the end of the month. You know why? Because they said they would. Because they said they would. That was the goal when they decided to join this little group that I'm heading up right now. And it's like, yeah, when you put your mind to it, when you have that attitude for success, a lot of good things happen. And you don't have to listen to the negativity of the world. You're going to hear it. All you got to do is turn on TV. You're going to hear it. All right? But when people tell you to your face that this thing is not real and blah, 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 and you're like, well, it's real. You've felt the technology. You've seen what it's done for other people, not only on the health side, but also on the wealth side. It's like, just don't let that creep into your mind. Okay? Competitive toughness is not about just pushing through a hard workout or fighting hard or never giving up. You guys, it's about building the right habits and staying disciplined on a day-to-day basis. And in order to develop, that true mental toughness, you got to have structure. You've got to have structure in your life. Every day you wake up, what are you doing? If it's helter-skelter and you wake up every day and you go, what am I doing today? Well, you need to know what you're doing before you go to bed, okay? It's about building the right habits. I've got a guy, and I'm going to completely throw him under the bus right now, that I play racquetball with on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we play at 6 o'clock, and this guy is late every single day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we make a joke of it. It's like, well, yeah, Jeff's not here. Let's get a game in before Jeff gets here. And he's always there between 6:10 and 6:20. And we're like, dude, no wonder your life is just, he comes in, he looks like he combed his hair with an egg beater. And I'm like, dude, you got to get yourself together. This guy has no structure in his life. He just wakes up when he wakes up. He's really struggling in business. And I'm like, dude, there's a reason for this. There is a reason for this because you have no structure in your life. And if you can have that structure, boy, good things are going to happen. Go out there and get that competitive toughness, and you get it through building the right habits, and you build the right habits through having structure in your life. All right, guys, that's it. Let's have a great day today.